Awesome. So, welcome to today's AMA with SolarFirm. Alexander, you may want to tell us about you and how you got developed into the crypto space.
Sure. So I'll start by introducing myself and the core team. So, hi guys, I'm Alexander. I'm the owner of Solar Farm. My professional background is that I work as an investment banker at JP Morgan Chase, and I have an academic background in mathematics. I've been in crypto for about 2 to 3 years, working on various different projects that are very tokenomically heavy, such as open forks and farming and service protocols and lending platforms. And yeah, I started up Solar Farm to essentially take this concept of a liquidity-less ecosystem, which is a miner, and develop that to its fullest extent. Next, I'll introduce the developer Zips. A lot of you might have heard of Dogex. Zips was a developer of Dogex, which went to over 60 million market cap. He's a very talented developer. He's able to create contracts and dApps in a matter of hours, and he's a really well-known developer in this space. After that, we have Moneyfest, who is our primary marketer. Moneyfest's educational background is in marketing and advertising. He's been in this space for numerous years, building up a lot of key contacts, and he's managed to get some huge influencers on board. We are partnered up with the Island Boys and Wanda Nara, who is the wife of a footballer who plays with Lionel Messi in both Argentina and so we have a lot of celebrities already backing us. And lastly, we have DeFi Gorilla. DeFi is our business development manager. DeFi has experience working in various large-scale firms, such as SpaceX and Pepsi, McDonald's. He also has worked on and owned businesses that have had client interactions with super large companies like Apple. So you guys know that you're in good hands with us. We're really well experienced and quite a diverse team.
Awesome. So, my next question to you, Alexander, is for how long has Solar Farm Miner been around, and how did you come up with the idea?
So we had Solar Farm Miner V1, which sort of predominant miner, which ran for about 2 months. V1 is still being supported through the MetaVerse Casino, but we really which is a significantly upgraded miner contract from V1, and that's been running just over a month.
Awesome. So, tell us about Solar Farm Miner.
Okay, so essentially how the miner works is that you deposit BNB in and you receive solar panels. You go into app.solarfarm.finance, you deposit your BNB and you receive what's called solar panels. And these solar panels work to passively generate you power over time. So you have solar panels, which you get from depositing BNB. These solar panels generate you power over time as a form of passive income. Now you have two options with the power you have. You can either compound it to get more solar panels. Having more solar panels will increase your passive income, or you can sell your power to convert back to BNB. That's the basics on how the protocol works. Now, a lot of the other miners had died out. They didn't manage to survive. They struggled in the market conditions, and they struggled to deal with problems like inflation and an uneven distribution of fairness in their protocol. And we essentially migrated to a V2 and solved all these problems. So yeah, next I'd like to sort of talk about some of the mechanisms we have in V2. So basically, going from V1 to V2, we introduced this concept of fresh value. Now, fresh value is essentially a concept that's completely new to crypto as a whole. We're the first one to really bring it out. And essentially in crypto, it's really hard to keep a track of how much value has someone brought into the protocol and how much value have they taken out of it. And, sort of weight their rewards or punish them based on that, right? So, it's pretty hard to do with a token, and other miners haven't really done it. But for us, we can actually track how much has someone deposited into the miner and how much have they taken out. And this metric is called fresh value. And basically, with fresh value, we have built our solar guide mechanism. So first of all, we have base B. So let's say I deposit 5 BNB. My fresh value is 5 BNB. And now I have an allowance of 25 BNB, which is 5 times 5, right? If I deposit 10 BNB, my allowance is 50 BNB, so on and so forth. Now, up until my allowance, so let's say I sold 25 BNB, I have no tax at all. However, any BNB I sell after that is penalized with a 50% tax. The purpose of this is essentially to make the protocol one where investors of all sizes can coexist, and that's something that, again, is a problem that hasn't really been solved in crypto. How do you stop large whales from manipulating the protocol? How do you make this so that smaller investors can feel comfortable investing? We've just done it, and it's called base abuse. So yeah, once you go over your allowance, you're taxed at 50%, and that stops any particular person from draining way too much value out of the protocol. Other miners, people put in like 1 BNB, took out 200. The later investors go completely wrecked. We're not about that. Next up, we have what's called anti-dump. So basically, selling an amount greater than or equal to your fresh value at once, you face a 75% tax and 25% panel reduction. Now, this is a mechanism that basically ensures that no large amount is dumped at the same time. So let's say an investor had deposited 75 BNB into the protocol. If he sells more than 75 BNB in one transaction, he gets penalized. However, he can sell less than that consistently. That's fine. However, this is essentially in place to stop large TVL fluctuations. And next, I'd like to talk about the compounding system. So, recall earlier I said you can, when you have your power that's generated by your solar panels, you can either sell them or you can compound them. Now, every time you compound, you go up a tier, right? So every 3 compounds you go up a tier. Each tier gives you an extra 1.5% up to a maximum of 15%, which is tier 10, which is 30 consecutive compounds. Selling will set you back down to tier 0. And essentially what this does is, because of how compound interest and exponentiation works, it basically means if you're a loyal protocol holder and you continue to compound, you can actually become a whale. If you're a small investor, you can become a medium-sized investor. If you're a medium-sized investor, you can become a large investor purely through showing loyalty to the protocol. Now, a normal token, let's say you're holding, I don't know, Shiba Inu for 6 months. You're not really rewarded that much for it, And that's another problem that we've essentially solved here. So that's how the compounding system works. And we also have what's called anti-spam. So we want to punish frequent sellers, right? So if someone if you sell, you have to compound 15 times before you sell again. And the minimum timer before you can compound is 90 minutes. So 15 compounds makes it 22.5 hours between each sell. If you sell before that, you get hit with a 75% tax and a 25% panel reduction. So essentially, all this sort of ties into how we control inflation. Inflation is a really big thing in crypto, and controlling it is just super, super important, right? So selling is now 50% less inflationary because of the mechanisms I mentioned earlier. We're now punishing sellers directly, and how miners typically punish selling is that when you sold, you inflate the supply. So you now have much less percent of the supply. However, that causes so much inflation problems and uncertainty for investors. And yeah, we've managed to adjust the protocol so that selling is now 50% less inflationary. Buys are actually directly deflationary. Every single buy decreases the panel supply. And again, this is a completely unique concept that we've brought over into Solar Farm. And compounding is 10% less inflationary, which makes a massive, massive impact because compounding is the most frequent activity on a miner. There's a lot to take in there. So if you guys do have any questions, feel free to ask away. And also, we are in our active in our Telegram chat to also answer any questions. All right, back to you.
Awesome. I mean, I love the fact where you were trying to break down everything. It makes a lot of sense. But before I'm gonna go back to the V2 itself, I'd like to talk about the version one, right? I would like to know about the version one. That I see when I was looking through the website, I saw a referral system in the version one. I mean, is it applicable to the version two as well? And if it is, how does it work?
Sorry, could you repeat that? What part of version 1 did you say again?
Yeah, the referral system. So I'd like to know.
So
Yeah.
we had a referral system in V1, and essentially in V1, you got 10% bonus on buys as well as compounds. However, we felt that this was a little bit too sort of unfavorable, because essentially what our community had fed back to us was that all these influencers and marketers would essentially then start dumping on them. So we've got a new mechanic in place. So you still get your 10% referral bonus. However, remember the fresh value concept. If you're a referrer, let's say you referred your friend deposited 50 BNB and you have 5 BNB. Your allowance, if you don't invest, is 0. However, if you invest 1 BNB, your allowance is now 5 BNB, and you can withdraw all 5 BNB without tax. Otherwise, you withdraw 5 BNB, you have 2.5% tax. So essentially, the biggest profit takers in this ecosystem, the most profitable thing to do is be both an investor and a referrer. And by having referrers also be active, engaging investors, we just create a much more inclusive protocol.
Oh, that's really amazing. I mean, I just want to know, is it still applicable to the V2 version?
Yes, yeah. This is in V2. Yeah, you get 10% of other people's if your referees deposits.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's really amazing because I believe even if every project has this system, it's going to be helpful because you want to invite your friend to check out a certain project, and even if they don't know how to invest, but you can guide them because you are the referrer. You know what I mean? So I believe referral system in some projects are definitely important, and I love the fact you included that on the solar miner project. So up next is about where you mentioned about a penalty for selling, I think, a huge bag. So I'd just like to know how did the community take that penalty? I mean, how did they react to that? Trying to say, yeah, go ahead.
Could you repeat that again?
Yeah, I'm talking about a penalty for selling a huge bag probably of your token. So I'd just like to know how did the community react to that? Because I believe a lot of people normally you have a free way to sell as much as bags you're holding on the project. So I'd just like to know how the community, do they accept the fact that you had a penalty on the project or something like that?
What do you mean, the taxes or?
Yeah, you say, in regard to the sell system, right?
Right. Okay,
yeah.
So again, all of this was actually constructed by the community, right? The community asked for mechanisms to be put in place for essentially to stop people from putting in a BNB at the start and taking out 100 at the end, or to stop people from dumping massive amounts. The community asked for this. So how we developed V2 is we ran polls saying, which one of these options do we want, all that kind of stuff. And the community essentially had a really inclusive part in building all these mechanisms. So from the get-go, a lot of this was our developers putting the ideas out to the community. We'd collect their feedback from the polls and build it through that. So everyone was sort of on board, and so far everything's been going really well.
Oh, that's great. As long as it's actually coming from the community, because there are a couple of people. Normally, you can control people to to sell and or to hold and something like that. But I mean, if the community accept the fact that there should be this kind of system implemented on the project, I mean, it's something cool, right? So I just wanted to confirm that because there could be people who might be ready to buy in maybe 50 BNB, 100 BNB, and maybe get a little bit of profit and want to sell their bike and something like that. So then what about, for example, I have amount, I think I want to buy in around 50 BNB. What of the token? Is there a percentage of amount of token I have to sell so that I won't get a penalty or, something like that? Where maybe if I want to buy in 50 BNB, there's a percentage of token I have to sell not to have a penalty or something like that.
No, nothing like that. Do you mean if you're depositing?
Yeah, like for example, I mean, how can I take maybe profits without getting,
Yeah. So essentially, it's just three. So let's say you deposited in 10 BNB, you have an allowance of 50 BNB without any taxes. And basically what that means is if you can sell less than 10 BNB in one transaction, you can then compound 15 times, you can sell less than 10 BNB again until you reach your allowance, and then after the allowance is where you face your 50% tax.
Oh, that's really amazing. I mean, I definitely love the system, right? Whereby you have the opportunity of compounding before you sell again, and that's pretty amazing. I mean, in regards to the system. So what about the anti-spam? How does it work? I was looking at the anti-spam, and I just want to know how it works.
So as I mentioned earlier, you can compound, right? Compounding is where you get your power and you compound it. Anti-spam means you have to compound 15 times before you sell again. So after you sell, you have to compound 15 times. Now, you have a 90-minute timer you have to wait before you can compound again, right? So 90 minutes times 15, and you get 22.5 hours. So what it does is this essentially punishes frequent sellers.
Oh, that's great. So if I'm gonna move on to my next question, Kimpachi, do you have anything you may want to say to Alexander?
I have questions on the miner, but if we want to go to something else, we can. But I have a couple of questions if you want to discuss miner a bit more.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so I assume the miner is basically the same that has been applied for V1 and V2. So coming to, I think Caleb mentioned a lot about referral. So is there sort of a pyramid scheme, right? Since the person now in the volume 2 in version 2, it is more of a pyramid because the person who is inviting is getting the benefit, and the person who is being invited isn't getting a benefit until he refers someone else.
No, it's not at all. You got this wrong. So basically, that's the referral scheme, right? And now referral marketing is essentially it's not a solely referral marketing scheme. It's not something where you only make profit. The only way you make profit is by referring someone else. If that's the case, that's what's a pyramid scheme, and that's what multi-level marketing companies do, right? As I was talking earlier in the protocol, you can deposit, and over time you generate passive income. You're getting confused with the standardized model where you can only make profit if you have something and you sell it to someone else. That's not the case here. Companies in general always, give you an incentive to promote their product to your friends, right? And that's essentially what we're doing here. In terms of tokenomics and pyramid schemes, so let me explain to you sort of how that's applied in crypto. You've seen a lot of pyramid schemes fail. Luna is a major example. Overforks, and essentially what that is, they're increasing the supply significantly more than the value they're bringing in, right? And as I mentioned earlier, we're already significantly less inflationary than other miners. The baked beans probably started at sort of 4,000 or 5,000 miners per BNB. They're now in the sort of billions. We're maybe like 2x the supply. That's about it. Now, the most important part is that we're building external forms of revenue. So again, talking about sort of sustainability and longevity, for a project to last, it has to bring in external revenue. You can't just keep recycling funds from newer investors and rewarding older investors with it. That in itself is what creates a fund scheme. However, we have three primary forms of revenue, right? So first, we're currently building a metaverse casino. I can share a YouTube video link to you that shows the assets that we've built for the metaverse. Essentially, like all casinos, have a house edge. The casino makes a profit. All this profit goes back into the miner, right? The miner and buyback of the token. So that's the first form of external revenue. The second form is the solar farm token, which is essentially the exchange mechanism for the casino chips. Will have volume, and through that volume, 3% of the tax goes towards the miner, and also 2% of the tax goes towards an externally managed treasury, which is invested into delta neutral farming strategies, again generating a second source of external revenue. Number three, we have an upcoming launchpad. The launchpad essentially features an anti-bot that is completely much better than Pinkster. So again, we expect to eat into a lot of their market share there, and they're making a huge amounts of revenue. So by taking some of their market share, by offering what is a much better product, because essentially something wrong with Pinkster system is that a lot of sniper bots are just able to snipe out the whitelists. We have basically upgraded our sort of salt and pepper techniques and our hashing algorithms to essentially make sure that you can only, within a restricted time frame, only enter once per wallet, and therefore you can't snipe out a lot of whitelists. And through creating an anti-bot, we expect to drive a lot of products to launch on our launchpad instead, and that again will have fees. Those fees, 50% of it goes straight back to the miner. So to answer your questions on pyramid schemes, first you should always, build an understanding of what forms a pyramid scheme, and then number two, you have to always assess, how is the project bringing in external revenue without always needing new investors. And if those two questions are answered and you're satisfied with them, then that project is actually looking to create a value, and it's not a pyramid scheme.
I agree that it is not basically a pyramid scheme, and of course there are external factors that are supplying more volume to this. Just clarifying more on the bit, is there any way a person that is being referred could also benefit if the referrer is taking off profit or something? I see a lot of events going on in this project. So in any way, will the person who is being referred might be able to get a benefit from, if let's say you have referred me, and am I getting any benefit in a long period of time, that if you have referred, let's say 100 of the people, or you have withdrawn about 100 BNB of the tokens, do I get any benefit at all in the long way, in any way?
So if you referred a lot of people, then you get 10% of their deposit. So that's your essential benefit. If you're being referred to something by someone else, you're essentially just introduced into the protocol, which in itself is a benefit, right? That's essentially how all forms of referral marketing works. Essentially, referral marketing rewards people that essentially brings new people into, getting a company's products or investing in a new product, whatever it is. Referral marketing rewards the person that has undergone the action of bringing a new customer into that business. And that's essentially the exact same model that we're following here.
Will there be any max cap that I would have to, is there a limit that how many people I can refer from a certain account or a wallet, or it is unlimited?
No, you can refer as many people as you like.
Project has been online, at least the version 2 have been online since at least a month now, right? Exactly a month. So but do you have anybody, anybody in particular who has made a lot of, can you give example of somebody who has made a lot of money, or let's say a lot of BNBs through referrals? Is there a case like that?
Yeah, especially in V1. In V1 we had someone who actually put in maybe sort of 2 or 3 BNB, and they made about 75 to 80 solely through referring. And I think his name was Old Newbie or something. I can't quite remember his name exactly. But he made a ton of money solely through referrals. And another instance that community was saying is, referrals don't share as much risk as investors. So we now have this new mechanism in place where referrers also have to actively engage and interact with the protocol by depositing even a little bit of the BNB. So let's say you have referred up to 500 BNB worth of buys. You refer 10 friends, they put in 50 BNB each. You have got 10% of that. So you've got 50 BNB sitting there waiting for you to be withdrawn, right? Now, essentially, that referrer hasn't really taken on much risk. However, so your fresh value is 0, your allowance is 0, therefore you'll incur a 50% penalty, you get 25 BNB. However, if you now engage and interact with the protocol and you deposit 10 BNB in, then your allowance is 50 BNB, you can take out that 50 BNB, and on your 10 BNB deposit, you're still getting passive income. So, we've now created a system where not only are we encouraging referrers, we're also incentivizing referrers to actively engage in the protocol. That in itself just creates a win-win situation for both referrers and protocol users.
Can we talk more about the feasibility of the investment? Let's say I refer people, but from the compounding and everything, lot of amount might be lost, right? Not every investment in a project is a good investment. There is some limitations. So would you recommend the people who are listening and might be listening to the recording, what do you think is a good amount, or let's say feasible amount that should invest, not less than that, so that at least they see proper or at least minimal benefits, and not all they compound to is turned into dust? Do you have some?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's you're just asking the same questions again, pretty much. So basically, the goal is of the project, right? You have to, when you're investing in a protocol, you have to understand what are they trying to do, what are they trying to do to build value. Now, as I mentioned earlier, what we have coming is a metaverse casino, an anti-bot launchpad, and essentially we're bringing in external revenue. So through the metaverse casino and the gambling industry and the crypto gambling industry, we're actually tapping into what is already a $1 billion market. Even if we can take a small percent of that market share's revenue, then we are already generating significant external revenue for the protocol, and all this revenue is coming back into the miner. So with the launchpad, again, even if we take sort of 10 to 15% of ping sales and other launchpads revenue, we're actually creating a significant revenue for this protocol in the sense that we should probably, especially in a bull market, with all three mechanisms fully flowing, generate anywhere between sort of 50 to 100 BNB independent of new investors per day. That again is going back to investors. So again, when it comes to compounding, going to dust, all that kind of stuff, that happens in projects with very inflationary tokenomics. And as I mentioned earlier, we're not about that. What we're continuing to do is control inflation and get a grip of it and essentially build value. So you, as an investor, have to assess, what are they building here? How much do you think we can grow in terms of how much TVL do you think we can bring in? And it's just like holding a token. You buy into a token, you think, how much market cap can this reach? Ask the same question here. You invest into a miner and think, how much peak TVL can this reach? And you then go ahead and assess it on the factors of the Metaverse Casino and the Launchpad and what's being built at the moment. You go and engage with the team, ask us questions, all that kind of stuff, to get satisfactory answers. And, once you have that, then you look to invest, you compound until you think that the target TVL is reached. The same way you hold a token until you think that the token has reached its top. And yeah, so in terms of external revenue, we highly anticipate that over the next few months we can get to 50 to 100 BNB daily revenue independent of getting in new investors. And that's a very, very much a sort of an under-optimistic approximation. So it's more in the on the scarce side of things, just due to market conditions. If market does continue to grow the way it is, expect that to be significantly higher. But we're very confident hitting 5-figure BNB TVL, if not 6.
Thank you, Alexander. Yeah, sort of repetitive in a way, but I just wanted to confirm, right? A lot of people might not be wanting to invest like say 5 BNB or even a 1 BNB. Many people just for a trial basis just put in zero point 0.1 or something like that. And most of the time it's just get lost. It's all dusted in a while. And you mentioned that since the APY is not so high, so compounding isn't that efficacious, and hence any amount is good amount since external factors are increasing the market up anyway. All right. Other thing that I want to talk about is the event that just happened, right? You're doing a lot of events. I think there was something called Starlight, something like that. Shooting Star, right? Can you talk about Shooting Star, Roy?
Yeah, Shooting Star. Yeah, actually, we have a Shooting Star also scheduled for today. Essentially, a lot of people like the events that we're doing in V1. It just drove a lot of sort of community feel to it. However, the events in V1 were, based on the feedback the community received. Some liked it, some didn't. A lot of people felt that, it was really hard to get in on it. It's all about luck. If you manage to catch one of those solar flares, supernovas, then, you got really lucky, that kind of thing. With Shooting Star, essentially, one, we're creating mechanisms where we can continue to control inflation, because when Shooting Star is active, the buy dampener goes up. So essentially, buys create even more deflation than they currently do during the normal phase. And through that, we continue to deflate the supply and keep controlling inflation. And then number two is that whilst the Shooting Star is active, again, all these events just sort of create more of a community factor. It just keeps people engaged with the protocol as we continue to build, and that's the main reason why these are running.
Well, you're on a lot of multimedia and social medias as well. You have a TikTok channel as well, right? That is pretty good. A lot of people are there right now. So have you tried to doing if you're getting the marketing sector right now? So have you tried something in that sector? Have you partnered up with anybody on TikTok or Twitter to promote the project as a whole?
Yeah, actually, we've got two really, really big partners. So we had the other day the Island Boys. I think a lot of people in crypto have heard about the Island Boys. I believe they had about 6.6 million people follow them on Twitter. And they gave us a shout out the other day. If you go check out their announcements, we have the video of their story posting and shouting us out. We also had Wanda Nara, who is the wife of Mario Kart. He's a really, really famous, internationally known striker in football. He plays with Lionel Messi. So she's already partnered with us, and we are continuing to get more celebrities on board. And also, if you go on YouTube and type in Solar Farm Miner, you'll pretty much only see our product for like dozens of pages. And so we've done so much marketing on Twitter, Telegram, YouTube, TikTok, all that sort of platforms. So yeah, marketing is consistently ongoing.
Then you're doing all this marketing on yourself. Are you the team is doing it on yourself, or you hired some agency to do this on your behalf?
Our core team member, Manifest, is handling majority of the marketing.
But that's good. Well, Caleb, that's all I had to ask for a while. If I think of something, I'll put my hand up again. Thank you, Alexander, for answering all that. I'll just pass on to Caleb for now.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Kimpachi. Yeah, let's proceed. I just want to know about how you guys tend to get the community engaged on the projects, because I believe that not a lot of people are kind of interested in mining, because we all know how the space is, right? We're all here to get maybe quick flips and stuff like that. So I'd just like to know how you and your team were able to get the community involvement on the project.
Yeah, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, we continue to run these events, such as Shooting Star. A huge reason why we run these events, again, is the community loves them. Keeps them engaged and keeps them coming back to participate in these events. So having those events, consistently running competitions like show competitions, buy competitions, also other forms of marketing, getting new collaborators on board. All these factors mean that the community is consistently engaged with the project.
Yeah, and what about those who are who are less knowledgeable about the space? I mean, how have you guys been able to manage that aspect? Because I believe a lot of people out there, some are interested or some might be new to the space or might be new to what you guys are building. How have you guys been able to educate these people into the project?
A really critical part of integrating sort of fresh faces that aren't very experienced in crypto to a project is, number one, you have to develop the infrastructure to be able to answer any of their doubts and queries and stuff. And we've got a competent moderation team with a lot of documentation and information to answer any questions they have, and we're also active to answer any questions they have. Number two is getting that awareness spread to non sort of crypto people. We actually have a QR code based referral thing, so people can actually download their QR code, go and paste it all over wherever they want. And even if you're not into crypto, you can just take a smartphone, scan it, we redirect you straight to our app, join our Telegram, ask any questions about the product, the protocol, so on and so forth. So that's how we sort of sort of engage with and guide new investors, and number two, how we attract new investors that aren't very experienced in crypto.
Yeah, I was actually kind of thinking about idea. It's really kind of trending. A lot of people do that, and I think it's really has been helpful to a lot of projects out there. What about you guys trying to, create a video, giving in every details? I know you guys do have a white paper, right? But imagine having a video where it shows all the guidelines about solar farming. You show it, you put it on the website or something like that, or you put it on something like that to educate people more about the project.
We actually, we have an animator that's currently working on an isometric animation explainer video. That's also sort of being created. But yeah, other than that, we do have a lot of content. We also have a lot of information that's also displayed within the DApp as well. That shows a little bit more information on what each
We
metric
also
is.
have a lot of YouTubers. I don't know if you forgot to say it. We have a lot of YouTubers who explain that in their videos. Over 100 videos on YouTube, so that's easy to find.
Yeah, we have hundreds of videos on YouTube that also explains each critical aspect of the project. So all those sort of guide videos, all that sort of stuff is really easily accessible. We have new YouTubers coming out pretty much every single day, so there's always a chance for people to sort of refresh their understanding of the project.
That's really amazing. So I'll just love to move down to the marketing side. Then maybe we can go ahead and get questions as well from the community and something like that. And I know you guys have been working mostly on having AMAs on about the project, getting it out there to people. Aside from this aspect, what other means you guys having in plan to get the solar farm to get to be well known in the space and get people to get involved about it? Even if you do have an idea, right? If you don't have a lot of marketing involved on the project, it's more like you trying to buy or trying to have a store without people getting involved on the project. So marketing is definitely important. So what are the plans about marketing you guys have been getting involved on the project? Aside from doing AMAs and stuff like that.
I can let Money first answer this if you want, so I can take it.
Yeah, regards to marketing, like the AMA we have right now is part of the marketing. So the exposure we get from every AMA is hundreds and hundreds of people. But this is just a small part of what marketing we do, and we have spent a lot of money on marketing. 6 figures amount of marketing, from YouTube influencers to Instagram influencers to every social media platform influencers, because influencers, they are the ones who would be spreading the word. Regards the influencers, which is a really huge part, we have banners on targeted sites that target all the miners on BSC on every blockchain. For example, Moonarch. We have consistent banners there. We have been promoted on the top of the page for almost 2 months, which is expensive, and we have been consistently paying Moonarch every single week to be promoted there. Regarding that, we actually got a lot of people from Moonarch and from a lot of other websites where we have our banners there. And yeah, we also we also had a lot of calls channels who were calling us out. A lot of them. One of the biggest. We also had really expensive AMAs, like 4-figure AMAs, even up to 10K, with one of the biggest AMA channels. Other than that, we also had, I don't know, basically all the important shit. We had literally every single kind of form of marketing. We tested it out, and they have been really effective.
That's really amazing. Then what about partnerships? Have you guys had any partnerships lately?
Partnerships, we are looking into partnering with a lot of projects, but right now, in my opinion, there's projects that are willing to partner. They are not at the same level as us, so they wouldn't offer us the same as we would offer them. But we had a lot of partners, like NFT projects, which we partnered them like not indirectly, but we partnered with them. They invested really big into the project for something. Yeah, hello. So we are definitely looking into partnering up with a lot of high figure projects.
Awesome. That's really amazing. I mean, partnership is definitely important on project. I mean, I've seen a couple of projects out there just with the partnership itself. It has helped the project, especially if you guys are having the same goal about the project. I mean, that's all of my question for you guys. I mean, feel free to show us any more information about Solar for Miner. I mean, we really appreciate that before we can move straight to the community. I mean, if you guys will have any other things to add up to what we've discussed.
Oh yeah, we can go straight to the community question.
Okay. All right. Community, it's time for you to raise your hand and ask questions. You want to ask one question per person, right? So I'm gonna get first question from Describe. Describe, you're muted.
So thank you very much for the privilege. So my question is just simple. So I want to know, if I want to become an ambassador of your project, would I need to invest in your project or use your platform?
Sorry, I wasn't able to catch any of that.
Describe, you want to repeat your question, please, and maybe come closer to your mic so they can hear you.
Okay, I said if I want to become an ambassador of your project, do I need to invest or use your miner before I can maybe become an ambassador?
As I mentioned earlier, with the referral scheme, we actively incentivize anyone who wants to be an ambassador or a referrer to engage and invest in the protocol. But yeah, other than that, if you're a significant influencer or a key influencer leader like $1 Island Boys, then it's more so for the awareness. So yeah, it depends whether you're a marketing ambassador with hundreds of thousands of millions of following, or if you're a referrer. If you're a referrer, you are advised and incentivized to invest in the protocol. Otherwise, it's more so for a pure marketing based partnership.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for that. described. Up next, we want to get a question from Yami. Yami, you're muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, ask a question.
Oh, okay. All right. So my question is that on your website you mentioned that people can earn up to 14% on their panels. So how is this concept different from what rebase tokens with IAPYs offer? I mean, seeing that it's the same compounding concept, and then also looking at the percentage offered, how sustainable is this? I mean, Anchor Protocol was offering similar percentages and then still ended up dying off. So how possible is this, and how sustainable is this going to be?
So, I mean, the question you just asked is pretty much everything we just talked about in the AMA. So, I'm just going to give a really quick summary because all of this is just literally what is being talked about for this entire AMA. So, we have external sources of revenue for the casino, to the launchpad, to the token, and the externally managed treasury. That's how we generate income. The compounding bonus is an up to, it depends on how frequently you compound. The referral bonus is for referring, so if you bring someone new, you get the 10%. There you go.
Okay.
All right. Does that answer your question, Yami?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's get a question from, let's see, Jason. Jason, you're muted. Jason? Jason, you want to mute your mic and speak? Okay, I guess we'll have to move on. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Jason. All right, we'll have to move on then. Let's get a question from Azak Eyes. Azak Eyes, you're muted.
Hello.
Yeah, ask the question,
Hello.
buddy.
Okay, so I just have one issue with base tokens most times, and I'm trying to know if you have a different strategy, different from what I've experienced before. Most times, the IAPY and the rebase stuff of projects is that they give you the APYs, they give you the rebase, but at a point in time, the value of the token becomes so low. So I don't know. Do you have a different
Again,
strategy?
okay, this is getting, right. So we're not a rebase token. Number two, you're again asking me to explain everything that I've just explained about in the AMA.
No, I'm not asking you to do so. I'm not.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
not.
So
But
let me answer your question very quickly. So what you're answering is how we achieve sustainability. And again, we have external sources of revenue. That basically means that we're not recycling funds from old buyers to new buyers. And we have inflationary policies where
maybe after that.
Buying is directly deflationary. So if you buy, deflating the supply is dynamic, the supply is fixed, and having that deflationary mechanism in place, and also having compounds less inflationary and selling less inflationary, because we can punish selling directly, we have controlled inflation, right? With rebase tokens, you're talking about a protocol where you essentially have 20 to 30 times the supply within the span of 2 to 3 months. In no way is that comparable to this project, which in a month, our supply is maybe sort of 1.5, 1.75x the actual launch price.
Okay, fine for clearing that. But just to add a little to what you've explained, your rebase, will it just continue like that, or does it have a timeline whereby it will stop?
We're not a rebase token. This isn't a rebase token at all in any form.
Okay. Now I get.
All right, thanks for that. Isaac Eyes. Up next, we're gonna get a question from Bisha. Crypto Bisha.
Much for the opportunity. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope I'm audible, right?
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so thank you so much. Yeah, I could not get to the website because I had issues to get to the website. I don't know if it's from my end, though, but from what you said, I just have two questions from the AME. So now you said you put in a lot of funds for marketing and to get influencers. So I want to know how was this funds from your pocket, like from the developer's pocket, or you guys had pre-sale or sell on to do? Where is this fund coming from, or where are these funds coming from? Is anybody here?
Seems like we lost Alexander.
Okay.
Just a second.
Oh, sorry. I think our owner had some issues with his connection. Can you just repeat that question again, and I'll answer it for you.
Okay. Let me just put it simply. I wanted to know where the funds for the marketing, the funds you guys have put in the marketing, where are these funds coming from?
Okay, yeah. So on every transaction, there's a 10% tax, and this is only on buys themselves, obviously. On compounds, there's no tax. So from this tax, it goes to marketing wallet, and obviously to development as well. So that pays for the game development devs, for the VR metaverse, for the solar pad, for the DApp building, to pay for the server fees to run the website. And a majority of this funds that was for development has actually been dedicated to more marketing, because our developer Zips actually donated about 90% of his development funds directly to marketing, because he's building his reputation in the space, and he would rather just improve the marketing exposure for the protocol rather than being paid himself. So really, the amount of money that we've had for marketing has been amazing. That's why we've been able to onboard celebrities such as Wanda, the Island Boys, Graham X Shields, Joey White, and some really big YouTubers and Telegram influencers in the space as well. So yeah, there is a lot of money that is being dedicated to marketing, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Also, there's more money that will come into the protocol from every person that comes into the Solar Casino. All the money that they spend in the Solar Casino in the gambling games, and if, say for example, if they lose, and on the transactions, all those funds, 100% of those funds go directly to the V2 miner, TVL, and to marketing. So it's a constant string of multiple avenues of income to sustain the longevity of the protocol.
Okay, that's interesting because that actually answers my next question. So I would just like to ask about the milestones, or the milestones you guys have faced, because when I went to your Telegram channel, I saw that you guys had an issue with the DApp utility. Yeah, so I just want to know how it has been transferring from the version 1 to the second version.
Right, okay, so you're looking at the announcements channel. So we activated, so Shooting Star is an event where investors gain 10 to 50% additional panels when they make a purchase, and this will be activating at 7 p.m. UTC tonight, which is in about 5 hours time, and during this event, buys will also become hyperdeflationary, which will increase the value of panels exponentially. So anybody that's invested in the protocol already or that buys during this event is going to gain huge value. So we recently made a couple of changes to this event compared to last time, and what the changes is that 24 hours before and 24 hours after the event, there's a 50% panel reduction penalty, which stops investors from being able to manipulate this tool that we've added. So essentially, when we made this change, on the DApp, it said that the shooting star was active because obviously that 50% penalty had been implemented, but the bonus hadn't been implemented yet because it doesn't start until tonight. And we activated the penalty yesterday. So the only change that we had to make was just where it said active, we changed it to pending, and that was done within about 45 minutes. So that was fixed pretty much straight away.
Does that answer your question, Bishop? Bishop? Oh, I guess it's having issues with connections. I'm just gonna take that as a yes. So we're gonna move on to our next question. Let's see, Paragon. Yeah, go ahead, Paragon.
All right. Nice presentation there. I want to ask a question concerning mining equipment. I've seen a project like this that deals with mining, and they deal with they have a plan on selling mining equipment. So I want to ask if you guys also have that in mind, selling mining equipment.
So you're asking if we will be selling mining equipment or integrating some sort of real-world mining into the product. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So at the current time, we do not have any particular immediate plans for this. It is something that we've considered for the long term. We do actually know a few solar panel corporations which have solar panel farms in the US as well as in the UK and around Europe. So this is something that we considered, whereas right now it is quite an expensive investment for us to get involved with. It may benefit long term to bring in external yield because you can sell off that power to grids and things. But for the short term, this isn't something that would benefit the product, investing that sort of money at this point in time. So while we've considered this and we have spoken to some big companies out there, it's not something that we have plans for the immediate short term. However, once the casino's running, the solar pad's running, and we're bringing in 10K TVL and these sort of money, our marketing wallet will be so fat that we'll be able to move forward with these real world investments that could bring in more yields to the protocol. So it's something for like longer term that we can consider, but right now it's not anything that's on our schedule now.
All right. That is very, very awesome. Integrating to be very, very fun. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for that. We're just gonna get a few more questions. Yeah, let's get a question. It's been a while I have from you, Chief. Chief, you're muted.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nice presentation. To be sincere with you guys, when I first looked into the project, I was thinking that it does not have much utilities and much explanation. But when I go through the website, I discover so many things. I love the way you guys explain the fresh value, the solo guide fairness system, the compounding system, and so on and so forth. But I have some issues on the Hype Nova and the solo play. I want to know, when do this Hype Nova start its work? Is it when I get my token or when I start mining? The solo play and the Hype Nova.
Sure, I didn't quite understand or hear your question properly there. Can you just explain that a bit more?
What I want to say is this: I want an explanation on the Hype Nova, when it starts its work, and also the solo play.
No, sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
So Chief, you may want to repeat your question.
Can I come again?
Yeah, ask a question.
Yeah, please try again. It's just the connection's not very good.
Okay, I'm talking about the hypernova, and the solo flay. When does it start its work exactly? When does it start its work?
Right, I see what you're saying. So, solar flare and supernova, these are not actually in the protocol anymore. These were some interesting features that we implemented for the V1 miner, but we've replaced these features with something called Shooting Star. So if you go to our announcements channel, you can read about Shooting Star. This is something that will be activated at 7 p.m. UTC tonight, which is in a few hours' time. It's 3 o'clock now, so I believe that will be. No, sorry, it's yeah. So in about 5 hours' time, this will be active, and you'll be able to gain 10 to 50% extra tokens. Not tokens, sorry, panels. On your investment. So if you buy a BNB, you say, for example, if you put in 1 BNB, and that's going to give you 12,000 solar panels. If the bonus is at 30%, instead of gaining 12,000, you'll gain 12,000 plus an additional 30% of that. And this lasts for 24 hours, followed by anti-dump measures. So if you want to read more about that, then you can go onto the announcements channel and have a read through that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Thank you, Caleb.
Thanks for that, Bishop. Let's get a question from, I think I saw Johnson here. Okay, I think we lost him. All right, let's get okay, there you are. Johnson, you may want to ask a question now.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I opened your website and I saw MetaVerse there, but I couldn't test it. So I wouldn't know what you got to do in the Metaverse. I mean, you have lands and you create wearable NFTs accessible to the community, and you host events in the Metaverse.
Right, I see what you're saying. So this Metaverse page, it hasn't been added yet, obviously, because it's not something that's completed yet. So the VR Metaverse, the first aspect of it will be that you'll be able to sign into the dApp, and where you've got your miner, you can obviously click on compound sell and all those different features. Instead of this, you'll be able to click on the Metaverse section, and you'll be able to go into a VR environment, which you can use on a mobile phone, a computer, or a VR headset. And you'll be able to walk around, walk over to these screen panels and inside this environment, and you'll be able to interact with your miners there, your solar farm miners, right? And outside there's like a big window. You're on the moon, and you can see the solar panels out there. And then if you turn around, you can go down the stairs, and it will take you into the solar casino. And at the Solar Casino, there's various different gambling games, anything from like blackjack to poker or any sort of games like that. There's going to be loads of them that are going to be added as we grow. I believe there's 5 that will be there initially. You can read more about that on our website. But there's actually a video of our Solar Casino that I can send to you if you want to shoot me a DM, or I can even send it to the owner of this group if he wants to send it into the group for you guys to have a look. You can have a look at what we're actually building for the Solar Casino, and you'll be able to see exactly what that page is going to be for.
Okay, cool. So my last question, I want to know if this project has any amount poured into the locked liquidity in the blockchain tech, because that's important. And I want to know how much, if there's any, because I see a lot of projects that do that.
Sorry, can you ask that question again?
I want to know if the project has any amount put into locked liquidity. You understand?
Right, I see what you're saying. So our miner, the way the miners work is they have TVL instead of liquidity, and TVL means total value locked. So that's completely locked. Nobody has access to it. It can't be removed. So it's completely safe. That TVL is the total investments that have actually been brought into the protocol at a 1-to-1 ratio. It's not like with a token where the ratio is insupportive and it has like a 5% liquidity ratio or 10% liquidity ratio. This is like 1-to-1 back. So where it shows you the TVL, this is the exact amount of funds that are locked within the protocol. Now, obviously, this increases and decreases from investors' buying and selling habits. In our last Shooting Star event, we gained 250 BNB in TVL. Our next event is in 5 hours' time, so you can keep an eye on our TVL then and see how much volume comes in then to get more of an understanding of how much volume we gain during these events.
Okay, great. It's all right. I appreciate your time. Thanks, Caleb.
Yeah, thanks for that, Johnson. If I could, will you ready to get any more question? Can you hear me? Do you want to get any more questions? Or you okay with it?
Yeah, sure. I think there's one guy that's got his hand up, Jason, from Sir's Investment Group. Don't know if you want to unmute him or not.
Jason?
Yeah, Jason. He's got a little crown next to his name. If you want to unmute him, he might have a good question for us.
All right, Jason, you're muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, my question is, you said we can spot BNB and Solar Farm token to ask your service like the casino and launchpad. So I want to know if there will be some reward or like discount for using the Solar Farm token for this service. Thank you.
That's actually an amazing question, and I'm glad that you asked that. This would be a better question for the developer or the owner, but unfortunately, the developer is not available right now, and the owner's having connectivity issues. But I can answer this question for you. So the Solar token will actually have a soft peg to a certain amount of BNB when used within the casino. So essentially, what this means is, say you went into the Solar Casino and you wanted to gamble away in any of the games there. You could put in, say, for example, 0.1 BNB or 1,000 tokens. Now, let's say the price of the token decreases because people buy, sell, whatever, right? It will still keep that soft peg of what it's worth in the casino, which will generate volume and buy pressure to the token, because instead of, say, somebody goes to buy one BNB worth of something in the casino, they can put in 10,000 tokens, and let's say that the value of the tokens has dropped 50%, it will still maintain that soft peg within the casino of what the BNB's worth. So instead of paying one BNB, you could buy 0.5 BNB worth of the Solar token, and you get it half price because you're using the token rather than BNB, which will generate volume and buy pressure for the token, increasing the price of that. So yeah, we do expect that when the Solar Casino launches, there will be a significant increase in volume for the token, especially as we'll monitor this soft peg and we'll increase it as the Solar Casino grows, which will continue increasing the value of the token. So yeah, it is definitely a good idea to grab some of the token as well. I'm glad you asked that question, and hopefully that answered you.
Okay. Thanks for answering my question, sir. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
You're
thanks
welcome.
for that. Yeah, for that, Jason. I think we get a question as well from Kyle. Kyle, you're muted.
Can you hear me? Hi, guys.
Yeah, ask the question, buddy.
Alright. I wanted to ask about the solar pad. How does one what information or what documents would I have to submit to make use of the solar pad as a project owner? And how will I be paid? Will I be paying in fiat currency or the native token?
Oh, you mean if you wanted to use the solar pad? This is
Yeah.
a question for the owner or the developer. Unfortunately, I can't answer this question for you. But if you want to DM me the question, I'll forward it over to them, and when they're available, I'll get it answered and I'll send you over the message. But I do believe that it will be the solar token that will be best for the platform. Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. And then one more thing. One more quick question. How about an inbuilt application swapper? So that people can easily make use of it on the app, and rather than using other swapper, they could just quickly use yours, and at the same time, it could come with some discounts for using the in-app swapper.
Oh, you mean like a DEX? Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of plans for additional utilities. It's just those are our initial utilities, the solar pad and the solar casino. So once we've delivered on those platforms, we will be building additional utilities as well. It's just right now we want to focus on one thing at a time, make sure we get those right. But yeah, a solar DEX has been something we've considered for a long time.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Thanks, Caleb. Nice project, man.
Thanks for that, Kyle. This is want to get in question. If I go with it, if it's okay with you. Can you hear me? If I go with it.
Oh, sorry. Were you asking me something? I thought you
Yeah.
were talking to me. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I was asking if you want to get in more question.
I think that's okay for now. Thanks for your time, guys. And please do join over our Telegram community. We're constantly operating over there. We've got plenty of moderators there that can answer your questions as well. If you do have any more questions, we do have regular shilling competitions and biggest buy competitions where we give away BNB, BUSD, and things like that. So if you are interested in giveaways, we do offer a lot of those in our channel as well.
Awesome. All right.
And don't miss our Shooting Star event tonight. It's in about 5 hours' time. There's going to be a 10 to 50% bonus on any purchases. during this event. So if you do want to invest in the protocol, that is the best time to get in at 7 p.m. UTC tonight.
Awesome. That's really amazing. So before we gonna draw this to a close, Kimpachi, do you have any other things you may want to say to the team before we draw this to a close?
Sure, man. Well, I have seen a lot of miner projects. This is certainly one of the best in terms of tokenomics. While I was searching, I made some purchases myself. I hope to see gains in future. Well, definitely one of the best miners, I would say. And well, the best thing about it is that market cap is still a bit low on the lower side. So even if the miner doesn't give you any benefit, the token itself might give you in future. So yeah, that's it. What I would say.
Yeah, that's very true. There, a lot of people have been sleeping on the token, and we do plan to have a big marketing push for the token once the Solar Casino goes live. So that is definitely something. Like, if you're not interested in like passive income and yields that's offered through a miner, then you can still grab some of the token, hold on to that for a while. You can have a look at the chart, and it has been very stable. And obviously, once the casino is up and running and we push out that marketing, there is going to be a huge influx of volume. And we do plan on taking that sort of at least 1 million market cap, but really we're expecting it to hit sort of 5 to 10 mil once everything's running properly. So yeah, guys, I mean, if you want to grab some of the miner, then you can tonight. Otherwise, have a look at our token as well. And thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks for that. Ifagwala, it's good to have you guys and go guys, and wish you guys great success in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think this is how we can end the session. I'm going to be stopping the recording and send you a copy as on a private chat.